Dreamers. For today's card, we are making this very easy, beautiful happy birthday card using the Prima Lavender collection. Now this is a really fast card to make, and the supply list is pretty short. The very first thing I used is this die set from Scrapbooking Made Simple, and this is called With Sentiment Happy Birthday. And there are a series of dies that come as a frame with a greeting in the middle, and then a cutout and some corners. Now, I was just on the website just a couple days ago, and even though I bought this set back in June of last year, I believe there are still some that are available. I was just on over the weekend and I saw some out there, so hopefully if you're interested, there will still be some there. Now this die set has a frame as well as the greeting cut apart, and I used some washi tape to connect it together so that it provides a little frame around the outside. I also have some fresh fig Stampin' Up! Paper, and that will be used for the cutout as well as for the background. And then I have some of this green paper, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I absolutely adore the Michaels combination paper pack called, I think it's Farmer's Market. And this is the green that's in it. I have used the paper in that package for, it shows up in almost every project that I do. So, and I thought with the green in this paper that it looked real nice in the background. It picked up the green and brought the green out. Now there's another green in here that's a little bit more of a blue green. Depending on what color paper you want behind it, will bring out either these leaves or these leaves. Now this is the rose paper from the Prima Lavender collection. I will put the name of this individual sheet. Oh, it's called Communication Through Love. And this is one of the cut apart sheets. However, there really wasn't anything on this side that got me really excited. But this beautiful rose paper on the back, when I saw that, I thought, oh my gosh, there's stuff I could do with this. So this is what is used in the background. Now, if you take a look at our sample card here, when I first put it together with the fresh fig, it didn't really, you kind of lost it. The background's really busy. So I decided to use a piece of vellum that I cut apart with the outer die that creates just the frame. And then I used both dies for the birthday part. And when I put that together, you can see that that's just enough to kind of hide the background and make the words pop a little bit better than if it was just the fresh fig alone. So let's get started. To start with, I cut a piece of the fresh fig down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I also cut a piece of the green paper, for lack of a better word, to 4 by 5 1/4. And then a piece of the floral paper to 3 3/4 by 5. I also have a piece of vellum that's just cut A2 size, just to use to make sure it's big enough. And I mounted one of the pieces of the fresh fig onto a top folding A2 size card base. So that's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 scored down the middle, create 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I accidentally sliced the paper in the wrong spot. Oops. However, I decided that I would use my Xyron sticker machine and firmly glue it down onto the card base, and that way once you layer everything up, you're never going to see it. So the next step will be I'm going to adhere the pattern paper onto the green paper and the green paper onto our card base. To do that, I'm just going to use my ATG gun. Now I do want to make sure that the roses are facing the right way up on the card once I adhere it down. I also like to use a piece of sticker back paper when I'm putting cards down like this, just to make sure that I'm putting it in the right spot before it gets stuck too badly to the paper. And there we go. So the next step that I learned the hard way when I did the sample is I did not put adhesive on the back of this before I cut it out of the fresh fig. And it was really hard to glue it down to the vellum. So before I got started, I took this piece, ran it through the Xyron machine. Now there's lots and lots of sticky on the back, and that should stick to my sheet of vellum a little bit better. So I'm going to pop on over to my Big Shot, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back with my two pieces. I have the die cut that says Happy Birthday, and I have the piece of vellum. In the package that also came with the dies, there were 4 corners, and as you can see, you can actually use the corners for cut-aparts. I chose not to do it given the design of this card, but that is an additional thing that you can do with this die set, which is kind of cool. You can also use the corners on pretty much any other card that you make too, whether it's a cutout or to add on top. So set this aside, and I don't know if you can see just how intricate this die is. These little pieces right in here to pull out and everything. It's a little fiddly, but it's just beautiful with all the detail that's in this die. So moving on, the next thing that we want to do is peel off part of the backing, not all of it. I want to take from about here over so that I can get some of it off and start to position it on the piece of vellum. And that way it gives me the ability to put it down without, actually I'm going to pull the whole thing off, and I'll use a separate piece of paper to mask off the adhesive from sticking to the vellum before I'm ready. Now the other nice thing about this die is that there is a lot of surface area within the happy birthday to use adhesive on the back of the vellum, and you'll never see it on the front of the card because there's enough verticals that you can get it glued up from behind and not see it. So I'm going to take this down and I'm going to start adhering it corner to corner here. And I want to make sure that I get it in position before the rest of it sticks. There we go. How easy was that? All right, now the last thing we need to do is make sure we are putting it on the right side of the card. We just want to take some glue, and I'm using some Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. I did try to use the fine tip glue pen from Stampin' Up, but it didn't glue very good. So we're going to use the Scotch glue, and I know that that will stick really well. Now, as I'm running this around the edges here, I am barely putting any pressure on the bottle. Just enough to get the barest minimum to come out. Flip it over. Hold it in place. There we go. How is that for fast and easy? And look how pretty that is. I'll have a full supply list over on the blog post that's listed down in the notes. If you want to see the materials that I used or any of the measurements, check there. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button so you can get updated with new videos as they come out. Thanks and have a great day. Happy crafting!